Good morning, Dan and Amy. And, well, looky here. This just came over the transom. National Review, Jeannie Ives for governor.
Oh, so the National Review.
Editorial board, this is from the editor's editorial board endorsing Jeannie Ives for governor. Very much in keeping with the legacy of William F. Buckley. This is also consistent with National Review reporting cover story in December. Bruce Rauner, worst Republican governor in America. Among other things, Rauner's duplicity on the issue of abortion should be disqualifying to conservatives. And we recently had, this week on Special Report, they did a little piece. Mike Tobin, our man in Chicago in the Midwest, did a piece for Bret Baier show on the governor's race as well, with just 4 days to go before the primary election. And we'll talk a little national politics with the anchor of Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Also the author of the book 3 Days in January about the Eisenhower administration. He's Bret Baier. Bret, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning. I guess we start with the big news on the special counsel front yesterday. That's Muller moving over to a new fishing hole and issuing subpoenas for financial records from the Trump Organization. I know this is treated with kind of breathlessness by much of the D.C. press corps. But how concerned do you sense the Trump people, the administration, is about kind of this never-ending story, at least as far as the Democrats are concerned?
Well, I think they'd like it to end, clearly. But as far as the subpoenas go, by all accounts, they've been cooperating, handing over documents. Sometimes it's a technical matter to kind of square the corners to get specific documents that they're looking for, but there hasn't been a resistance, from what we're told, to cooperating with the Mueller folks. So, how that's translated and what it means, there's, as you said, breathless speculation about it. But I do think that it is coming to a head. I think within a month or so that you're going to see some action. What that is, I think we have yet to know.
Do you sense anything with respect to Mueller? I know this is a tight-lipped operation, as well it should be, but I mean they're verging on the edge of parody in some respects. This Sam Nunberg character last week, George Nader, this Lebanese-American businessman and fixer, also convicted child molester, who has been brought in to potentially be some kind of source for attempted rigging of the election involving Qatar. I mean, this is getting a little bit fantastical at the expense of Mueller's credibility, potentially, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely going a lot of different avenues that I don't think lawmakers thought it was going to go. And that's what happens with a special counsel. Ken Starr started at Whitewater and ended up at a blue dress. So, you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I think that they're trying to follow the money and that there may be some concern about foreign influence, not just Russia influence in the election.
Well, do you think President Trump is going to actually sit down and have a discussion with Robert Mueller on the record?
I have a hard time believing that that's going to happen, Amy. I mean, there's all kinds of speculation that the lawyers are preparing for that possibility. But listen, it's not easy to keep President Trump on the script for a speech at the Chamber of Commerce in Pittsburgh, let alone with lawyers from Mueller.
Continuing on that thread there, the continued shakeup of staff at the cabinet level and the senior advisory level in Trump's administration, and he's been fairly straightforward about it. There's probably more changes to come. Is H.R. McMaster one of them? Is General John Kelly one of them?
The going bet is H.R. McMaster is next. But when next is, we don't know. There was a big pushback last night from the White House about this story in the Washington Post that he's gone and that John Bolton is in. Nobody is confirming that for us. I think it's a matter of timing, and it comes down to the president. He makes the final decision. If he doesn't like a story that says that something's happening ahead of what he wants to do, he could change his mind, and that's how this president operates. But here's one thing that's clear: he seems to be feeling empowered to surround himself with the people that he wants to surround himself with.
Do you think that the holdup with Bolton is that he won't shave his mustache?
Maybe.
Well, he doesn't
It
like
could be
facial
it,
hair.
I'm sure.
But what about Rick Perry then moving over to VA secretary?
I mean, these are all things that we've heard of. Perry apparently is happy and energy, but we've heard that Shulkin is out. We've heard that Kelly is out, that Mick Mulvaney will take his position. We've even heard that Sessions is that there is a plan to remove Sessions. Scott Pruitt at EPA has been skulking around on Capitol Hill asking about the nomination process. Apparently Kelly called him and said, "Don't get your hopes up."
Oh, wow. How emboldened are Democrats on the Hill over their Conor Lamb victory in Pennsylvania 18 on Tuesday, particularly as it pertains to the way they're going to position themselves on policy debates between now and November, most notably continuing with the remembrance of the Parkland students that were massacred and the walkouts this week, most notably on gun control.
Yeah. I think they're very happy about that win, but how many Conor Lambs are out there for Democrats, I think, is yet to be seen. The fact that Nancy Pelosi said that he didn't run against her when he had an ad specifically running against Nancy Pelosi was a little, interesting yesterday.
Wait, she said that wasn't me in the commercial.
Wasn't me.
It's the R. Kelly defense. Yeah.
So, but and
different Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, and that congressional race. I mean, that district's going away too. In what next year? The district
Not
in
even.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, short of that. In fact, Rick Saccone, who is going to lose, even though there may be challenges and it may take some time, he's already filed for the district next door, the 14th district.
Okay.
So they could both end up being congressmen in the orientation line come January.
Oh, wouldn't that be a sight?
Okay. All right. He is Bret Baier. He's the host of Special Report, 5 p.m. Chicago time on Fox, of course, and pick up his book, 3 Days in January, good read about Dwight D. Eisenhower. Bret, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.